My manager handed me a performance improvement plan she'd clearly designed for me to fail. I spent the next 30 days following it so perfectly that it cost her everything. I'd been with the company for 6 years, regional sales coordinator, consistently in the top tier of performers. Then Dina was brought in as VP of sales, and within 3 months, I was called into a meeting I didn't see coming. She slid a document across the table. 30 days to meet a set of benchmarks, so specific and arbitrary they felt engineered. Daily call logs submitted by 4 p.m. Written approval from her before any client outreach over a $5,000 value. Every single communication with external partners copied to her inbox. I almost signed it without reading the fine print. I took it to an employment attorney that evening instead. He looked it over and told me something I didn't expect. He said the requirements were unusual but not illegal, and that if I followed them exactly as written, I'd be building a paper trail that would either protect me from wrongful termination or expose that the plan was never meant to be passed. His exact words, "Don't deviate," not once, so I didn't. I submitted call logs at 3:58 every afternoon. I emailed Dina for written approval before any significant client contact. At first, she responded quickly, probably expecting me to slip up somewhere. I didn't slip up. By the second week, the approval requests started visibly irritating her. I'd email her about a pending client call. She wouldn't respond for hours. I'd wait. The client would call me directly, and I'd reply that I was awaiting internal authorization before proceeding. 3 clients escalated to regional directors wondering why our team had gone suddenly unresponsive. Dina had to explain why deals were stalling. She called me into her office and told me I didn't need to email her for every small thing. I pulled out a printed copy of the PIP and pointed to the clause, written approval. Every contact over $5,000. She went quiet. She started rubber stamping approvals without reading them. I documented each one with timestamps. The breaking point came in week 3. One of our largest accounts, a distribution group we'd managed for 4 years, sent over a contract renewal to review. Standard terms, minor adjustments. I emailed Dina for approval to proceed. No response for 2 days. I followed up in writing, nothing. I sent a formal note to the client explaining that the review was pending internal sign-off. Their procurement director called our COO directly. The COO pulled the full email chain. He saw my original request, the 2-day silence, and the client escalation. He called Dina in to explain the delay. That's when everything came apart in a way I never could have manufactured myself. In that meeting, the COO asked Dina to pull up her inbox and walk him through the approval workflow in real time. She opened her email, and right there, visible to him, was a forwarded thread from her personal account to her work account. She'd been sharing our client data with someone outside the company. Pricing structures, contract terms, renewal timelines. He kept asking questions. The thread led directly back to a competitor she'd worked for before joining us. HR launched a formal investigation that afternoon. Over the following 2 weeks, it emerged that Dina had been systematically passing sensitive account information to this competitor ahead of major renewals. The PIP she'd placed me on had come right after I'd raised internal questions about a client account that had been quietly downgraded to a lower contract here, a change that had worked in the competitor's favor when they swooped in with a counteroffer. She was terminated before my 30 days were up. When I sat down with HR and the COO to close out my file, my attorney joined by phone. I had 30 days of spotless, time-stamped documentation. Every call log, every approval request, every client interaction handled exactly as the plan required, without a single deviation. They told me the PIP would be expunged from my record entirely, and that my performance history would be restored. I never raised my voice. I never filed a complaint. I never accused anyone of anything.